Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome back to Sons of Liberty 1773. This is indeed where men and women from around the world gather in defense of liberty. I am your host, Bill Bailey, who will be channeling the patriotism of America's founding fathers. Scorched Earth, that is the title of this video, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that as we get through some of the other news I want to share with you first. Real quick, this is a good story. This kind of unknown artist, Oliver Anthony, from born and raised and out of the hills of Appalachia. Somebody that's worked hard his whole life, worked in factories, and always wanting that break, right? You know, playing music. So I think he made this song, Richmond, North of Richmond, hoping to get like 300,000 views on YouTube. That was his big goal. Well, he's surpassed it, okay? Richmond, North of Richmond is now the #1 hit in the world on Apple Music. He is, by the way, a very humble American patriot. He has been offered, in my understanding, like an $8 million record deal, and he told him to go pound sand. He's not interested. He said, music comes from the heart, and I like what I'm doing right now. And to be honest, the way the world is now, technology, he can post his own music and get royalties. He doesn't need to share it. And once you sign these record deals, they own you. They'll tell you where to. You'll be a puppet. You got to produce new songs. Be here, be there. And he said, not interested. I really like this guy. Great song. I must have listened to it now 50 times. That never will get sick of that song. And it just resonates with all of us because he says in his song what we all feel. And I think it was Aristotle or Plato said, if it's between politics and art, I choose art. And here's a great example. Trying to get this message out, we may, that the Biden economy is crushing us. People are living hand to mouth. It's hard to get through to get that message out because of the media that's guarding Biden. But Oliver Anthony did it in a 2-minute song or 3 minutes, whatever it is. So, and if you don't think Bidenomics is crushing us, in 2019, right, Trump, you haven't transitioned to Biden yet. It took about 21% of your income to make your house payment, insurance, and afford a home. In 2019, okay? In 2023, folks, takes 50%, okay? 49%, but they just raised, the fixed rate is going up, so we'll just round up to 50%. 50% of your income to afford a home. Now you still got to buy food, which is through the roof because of Bidenomics. Got to put gas in your car. It's heading to $4 a gallon again. Everything has went through the roof. He's absolutely destroying this country. He's a asset of the CCP. I really believe that. So, and this is great. Trump is like, he's always one-upping these people trying to destroy him, and they're trying to suck him in, Fox News, right, to the presidential debate. It's a big setup. Everybody's saying, do not do it. And Trump has said, well, I'm leading. I'm way ahead of them. He said this in a truth he posted a while back. So, they're not even close, but, I think I'll watch it because maybe, there'll be some talent for the VP position. Well, now what he did, and they're all Ronna Romney McDaniels, this is a big Murdoch setup, and Trump ain't falling for it. Ronna Romney McDaniels, you've got to go to this debate, it's important, you need to do it, and he's saying no. So now, keep in mind, Fox fired Tucker, right? So this is delicious, by the way. When they're having the debate, Tucker will be interviewing President Trump at his Berkshire or whatever his golf course is out east. So take that, Fox. That's brilliant. What else we got here? Biden, the march to World War III is okay. We're not we're allowing, when we sell F-16s to another nation, they can't resell them to another nation without our stamp of approval. So Biden is okayed, I forget, 2 countries in Europe to send their F-16s to Ukraine, and then we'll just resupply them with more F-16. I mean, we're sending them. You know, they're just going to play a shell game here. So the march to World War III continues. And I just read this, Muskegon County, there's this big investigation that's been blown open by Gateway Pundit, some expert reporting, to where back in October of 2020, just weeks before the election, this girl comes into the Muskegon clerk with like 8,000 ballot applications, right? With like mostly all having the same handwriting, addresses that don't match, the last 4 Social Security that doesn't match, other stuff. Triggered the clerk like right away. Then she leaves, comes back with like another 2,500, and this girl calls the Muskegon police, and they come up and they take this thing serious. Said, this is not right. What's going on here? And so they open up an investigation. Right away, Dana Nessel gets involved and calls in the state police. They take it from the Muskegon police, and then they give it to the FBI, where it goes, that where election integrity or election investigations go to die, just give them to the FBI. So now Muskegon County, Gateway Pundits went there and said, we're FOIA requesting those ballot applications. We want to look at them. If you can't give them, we have a right to look at them. I think they can even take camera pictures of them. And they said, we don't have them. And now the state police, which reports to Whitmer and basically Dana Nessel, said, you're not getting them. So they're blocking, okay? Now, you know what's curious about when this all happened in Muskegon? And they buried this, folks. I mean, look, they investigated this, and it went into other buildings throughout Michigan. They found a massive operation into 20 states. Remember, they found AR-15s with silencers. They were paying these people in cash, $11.50 a week. And my gut is these people were probably on some sort of income, maybe welfare, who knows what. And they were paying them cash, okay? So they were getting it under the table. And so they had this huge organization of people out there doing these ballot applications to bloat up the voter rolls, and I think we all know why. And then they had the burner phones and enterprise car rental. I mean, it's a massive deal. And Dana Nessel, they buried this story. They gave it to the FBI, and she repeatedly said there is no widespread evidence, or there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in Michigan, election fraud. Her and they all parroted it, right? Including the scumbag Ed McBroom, who was the Republican Senate Majority Leader, a real piece of work. So while that was happening, folks, when that all blew up, you know what happened all at the same time? Cue the FBI, what's the word I'm looking for here? The Whitmer FBI setup, these idiots, they infiltrated it with some of their FBI stooges, said, hey, why don't we go kidnap the governor, and it was just a big setup, and I don't believe that the governor was ever in a million years in any danger, in my opinion. But that was at the same time. And it was this main guy, I can't think of his name, from the Detroit field office that led that investigation. Then they sent him to Washington, D.C. just before January 6th. Wow. Curious, huh? And two of them guys are getting, I haven't filed it, but they apparently, I don't know if they've appealed or whatever, and they want the venue in Antrim County where the supposed crime happened, because Gretchen Whitmer has her little cabin on the lake over here by Elk Rapids. And so they were able to get the trial, and I'm not on top of this. I just know that they're going to start doing jury pooling next week. They're going to start with 600 jurors here in Antrim County. They're all going to meet at the gymnasium in Bel Air, and they're going to cut that in half. Maybe it's 400 jurors to 200, and then whittle it down to 12. Funny, I never got a invitation to be a juror on that one. I wonder why. But this is a very conservative area, and if it's any kind of railroad job, we won't put up with it in this community. So that's going to be, that should be, probably make the news, I would think. And the county here is bitching about it, about the cost and the expenses, of holding this, it's going to draw national attention, to hold this case here. I don't give a crap. It's your job. I mean, we're paying taxes. This just breaking on InfoWars. This is a exclusive that Alex Jones has shared. The rumor is that this is what they're saying. I mean, allegedly, the Biden administration preparing to bring back full COVID restrictions in September. Really? I got to tell you, folks, I don't know anybody in northern Michigan. I've heard there's a weak version of basically like a mild flu that people are getting. They're calling it COVID. Who the hell knows what it is? But so it's interesting. They're going to try to lock us down again when I don't think there's an issue with the bug. So now let's talk about scorched earth, folks, as we roll into this next election cycle. And we're in it now, and it's going to get more and more heated. We're really in a cold civil war. But what the left is going to do is they are willing to burn this country to the ground before they will lose. And if they do lose, they'll probably still go scorched earth like Sherman's march to the ocean. They've got everything to lose, folks, everything. Good chance, Biden, Trump gets back in office. The shizzy is going to hit the fizzy. We are going to get some payback. The real people, the real criminals are going to pay for their crimes. I mean, Biden may be going to prison, who knows? A lot of people. And we're going to get some real justice. And they know that, and they are scared shitless, okay? And so they are willing to pull out all the stops. They will break every law. They will do everything and anything to stop Trump from winning and to kill our America First movement. Okay? And then I want you to think about this. When we come up on November, I forget what election day is here this next year. Is it November 8th? If Trump wins, if we have a victory, right? You know what's going to happen? They're going to cue Antifa, BLM. They're going to throw a fit. They're going to say Trump's illegitimate. You know what I'm talking about. They're going to start trying to burn down the cities. It's going to be absolute pandemonium. And the one thing about having Trump as president will be he will put the National Guard right out there and he will quill any violence in a heartbeat. And if we don't feel good about what happened, I'm just, we're heading into some perilous times. We're at the cusp of losing this country. And it's going to be so important that we get out and win this election cycle, or we're going to be in deep Mamu. I mean, you haven't seen the darkness that will fall on this land. You haven't seen nothing yet. And actually listened to the, I think it was Ron Jolly or something. Once in a while, I'll listen to AM radio here. He's kind of a moderate guy. But he was going through these Democrat not-for-profits, but the not-for-profits go out and harvest ballot applications for Democrats only. And the tens of millions of dollars that were sent into these groups. And they're out there with their clipboards and their pads, they're door knocking, they're getting paid. And we do not have that mechanism, folks. We do not have that ground game. And the millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And listen, they will spend billions this cycle, okay? Because it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing for them, and it's all or nothing for us. But I think next November is going to be crazy times. And spend this time. We are blessed right now. As crazy as this world is, we're this close to going into the greatest depression. We're this close to going into World War III and probably nuclear world war. But every day so far, you're working, you have money, and you can go out. The stores have product, and you can buy stuff. Use these times, okay? Was it Joseph that his brothers sold him into slavery? They were going to kill him first, but then they seen this group coming through. They said, let's sell him. So they sold him into slavery. And then he ended up in front of the Pharaoh or the king or whatever that had this dream, and no one could decipher it. And I believe it was Joseph. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And he said, well, I know what your dream is. We're getting ready to go through bountiful times. You're going to have huge harvest, huge yields in your crops, and you need to store those because the famine is coming after that. Okay? So we need to be doing that right now. We need to be stockpiling stuff and getting ready for the famine in the terrible times that I just can feel them coming, folks. They're trying to deplat. The dollar. We're going to use its hegemony. They don't want it to be the world reserve currency, and this is all because Biden deplatformed Russia. We've never done that before from the dollar. And other countries said, well, God, what if America gets a bug up their ass about us? We better do something. So he's forcing our enemies together, and they're going to come up with a currency that's tied to gold, and they're doing their homework. They're going to try to make a better mousetrap. Say, why do you want those dollars? It's just paper fiat currency, and America is overprinting their money. It ain't going to be worth nothing. Come and invest in our currency, the BRIC or the BRICS or whatever the hell they're going to call it. And I think they got a legitimate point. I get it. Stock up, start figuring out, water filtration, a ton of food, okay? A way to make all the water you ever need. You can get those gravity water filtration systems. I always have my affiliate link to My Patriot Supply. It's specific for this channel and all of my videos. If you just click on that and go to My Patriot Supply, you can buy water filtration, the long-term food stuff, the stuff that keeps 20-some years, the freeze-dried foods. Before you do that, though, I would buy your canned goods and all that stuff because it's a lot cheaper. You get a lot more bang for your buck, and just stockpile the stuff. Inflation's going to buy stuff that you use, so that you'll eat, right? Rotate it out. But inflation's just going to keep going up. Whatever you buy now is going to cost more 6 months from now. And I'm just telling you, have a plan for your family. When the crap hits the fan, the stores will be out of stuff like in 24 hours. There will be nothing there. And you look in your cupboards right now, that's what you're going to have if you don't have a plan. And then you look around, figure out, how, probably I've been in a lot of houses. I've been a realtor for 30 years. I've looked in a lot of kitchen cabinets and refrigerators. People have a week's worth of food, It's not like your great grandma and grandpa, or for me, my grandma and grandpa's times, when everybody had a garden and a fruit cellar, everybody processed their food, they grew their own food, and they had a fruit cellar full of food. They were preppers, they didn't even know it. It was just a way of life. Going to the general store was a once-a-month luxury. And then over time, they made food, industrial farming made food so cheap. Why would I work, every day, crawling around the garden, weeding and doing all that work when I can just go up and buy food at the store? So the fruit cellars went away. People lost, generations weren't taught how to process food. And that's why I keep saying this depression that we're heading into, I believe it'll be a depression. And it will not be the Great Depression. It will be the greatest depression, because during the Great Depression, people were dirt poor, but they ate because they all had food. They knew how to grow it, process it. The fruit sellers had food. They knew how to do that. Going to be a lot different this go around. So keep getting ready, but we're heading for some dark days. I just feel it. Regardless of who wins, okay? There's going to be turmoil. But if we want to take this country back and right the wrong and stop all the evil plaguing this country, we have to get Trump back in the Oval Office. Have to. It's do or die, folks. All right, I'm going to end it here. I'm just over 20 minutes. As always, keep prepping, stack it to the rafters, and keep praying. Psalms 33:12, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Pray for revival. Pray for Trump to be protected from all this evil that has been launched against him, all of these BS lawsuits. Pray for his family, that they're protected from anybody meaning them ill harm. And just keep praying. Pray every day, folks. Pray without ceasing. All right. Love you all. See you. Bye.